Let's delve into the significance of the air we breathe, especially the oxygen and ozone in it. It's time to unravel the mystery. But before we move forward, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating insights. Every breath you take, every gust of wind you feel, it's a cocktail of gases that surrounds us, an amalgamation that we call air. But what exactly is in this air? Predominantly it's nitrogen, making up around 78% of the air. But there are other elements in play too, and two of them are particularly intriguing: oxygen and ozone. Oxygen you're likely familiar with. It's the second most abundant gas in our air, making up about 21%. It's the lifeblood of our planet, the element that fuels the burning of life. Without oxygen, there wouldn't be life as we know it. Then there's ozone, a lesser known but equally vital component of our atmosphere. It's present in minuscule amounts, just 3 molecules for every 10 million air molecules. Yet this tiny fraction plays a colossal role. It forms a protective layer high in our atmosphere, shielding us from the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays. But there's more to oxygen and ozone than meets the eye. They're not just of our air, they're biomarkers. Now what's a biomarker, you might wonder? In the realm of astrobiology, biomarkers or biosignatures are substances that provide evidence of past or present life. They're the signs we look for when we're scanning distant planets trying to answer that age-old question: are we in the universe? Oxygen and ozone are unique in this respect. Oxygen can be produced by geological processes, but the levels we find in Earth's atmosphere are so high that they can only be maintained by the constant activity of life. Similarly, ozone, which forms from oxygen, serves as a signpost of life's presence. So, oxygen and ozone are not just components of the air, but they are crucial biomarkers. Intriguing, isn't it? Now, let's dive deeper into oxygen, the life sustainer, and explore its unique properties. We breathe in oxygen every minute of every day. But have you ever stopped to think about the magic that unfolds with each breath? This invisible gas, comprising about 1/5 of our atmosphere, is the life force that fuels the biological symphony within us. Let's start with the basics. Oxygen's primary role in human life is in the process of respiration, a complex symphony of events that begins the moment we take a breath. The oxygen we inhale travels down our windpipe, into our lungs, and finally into our bloodstream. From there, it's a journey to every corner of our body, delivering its life-giving payload to the trillions of cells that make up our being. But what does oxygen actually do when it gets there? Well, it's all about energy. Our bodies are like intricate machines, and oxygen is the fuel that keeps us running. Each cell in our body uses oxygen to break down glucose, a simple sugar, in a process known as cellular respiration. This process releases energy stored in glucose, which our bodies use to power everything from our thoughts to our movements. This energy production is critical to our survival. Without it, our cells couldn't function, our muscles would fail, and our brains would shut down. Essentially, without oxygen, we wouldn't be able to live, let alone think or move. But oxygen's role doesn't stop there. It's also a vital player in our immune system. It helps our bodies fight off infections and heal wounds. And it's a key component in the process of metabolism, helping us break down the food we eat into usable energy. In fact, the importance of oxygen is so profound that it's hard to overstate. It's not just that we need it to live, we need it to thrive, to think, to move, to grow, to heal, to simply be. Without oxygen, life as we know it would simply cease to exist. So the next time you take a breath, remember the incredible journey that oxygen takes and the vital role it plays in keeping you alive. Moving on to ozone, an invisible shield that protects us from the harmful ultraviolet rays of the sun. Let's dive into the world of ozone, a triatomic molecule consisting of 3 oxygen atoms. It's a bit of a paradox, really. At ground level, it's a pollutant, but up in the stratosphere around 6 to 30 miles above Earth's surface, it forms a blanket of protection, the ozone layer. This layer is incredibly important. Why? Because it absorbs a significant portion of the sun's harmful ultraviolet, or UV, radiation. Without the ozone layer, these rays would directly hit the Earth's surface. And that's not a world any of us would want to live in. The story of the ozone layer's formation is as fascinating as its function. It started billions of years ago when the first oxygen molecules began to appear in Earth's atmosphere, a byproduct of photosynthesizing organisms. The oxygen molecules were broken down by solar radiation into individual atoms, which then combined with unbroken oxygen to form ozone. This process, repeating over eons, gave us our life-saving shield. But what happens if the shield weakens? That's where the term ozone depletion comes in. Certain human-made chemicals like chlorofluorocarbons have the potential to destroy ozone. When these chemicals reach the stratosphere, they can break apart the ozone molecules, creating what we often call the ozone hole. The consequences of ozone depletion are severe. Increased UV radiation can lead to higher rates of skin cancer and cataracts in humans, harm aquatic ecosystems, and affect crop yields. It's a stark reminder that our actions have far-reaching impacts on the planet. But it's not all doom and gloom. International efforts like the Montreal Protocol have significantly reduced the production of ozone-depleting substances. It's a testament to what we can achieve when we work together to protect our planet. We owe our existence to this invisible shield, the ozone layer that tirelessly works to protect us. Let's do our part to ensure it continues to do so for generations to come. So, we know about oxygen and ozone, but how do they serve as biomarkers? You see, our quest for finding life beyond Earth, or astrobiology, heavily relies on identifying certain signs or biomarkers. Biomarkers are substances that indicate the presence of life, and oxygen and ozone are two such key biomarkers. Why oxygen, you ask? Well, on Earth, oxygen is a byproduct of photosynthesis, a process used by plants and some bacteria to convert sunlight into energy. Without life, our planet's atmosphere would contain very little oxygen. So, spotting oxygen in the atmosphere of a distant exoplanet might suggest the presence of photosynthetic organisms. But, here's the catch. Oxygen can also be produced abiotically, or without life, under certain conditions. So while oxygen is a good start, it's not a definitive sign of life. Now let's talk about ozone. Ozone is a form of oxygen that forms a protective layer around Earth, shielding us from the sun's harmful ultraviolet radiation. This ozone layer is created when sunlight splits oxygen molecules into individual atoms, which then cling to other oxygen molecules forming ozone. This process is called ozone production, and it can also occur abiotically. But the presence of both oxygen and ozone together is a different story. In our own atmosphere, oxygen and ozone exist in a delicate balance maintained by life. If you find both of these gases in the atmosphere of an exoplanet, it could be a strong indication of biological activity. However, it's important to note that these are just potential signs. Detecting oxygen and ozone doesn't guarantee the existence of life, but it does increase the chances. Scientists are currently developing advanced technologies to study the atmospheres of distant exoplanets and look for these and other biomarkers. It's a challenging task, but one that could potentially answer one of humanity's biggest questions. Are we alone in the universe? The existence of oxygen and ozone can potentially signal the existence of extraterrestrial life. Fascinating, right? So, what does the future hold for biomarker research? The realm of biomarker research is evolving at a breathtaking pace. With every passing day, we're gaining more knowledge about how molecules like oxygen and ozone can serve as telltale signs of life, not just on Earth but possibly on distant planets too. The current developments in this field are nothing short of revolutionary. We're developing new technologies and techniques to detect these biomarkers with higher precision. From high-resolution spectroscopy to advanced space telescopes, our toolkit for exploring the cosmos is expanding. But it's not all smooth sailing. Scientists face a multitude of challenges in their quest to understand and utilize biomarkers. For instance, the presence of oxygen or ozone doesn't automatically signify life. These molecules can also be produced by non-biological processes, creating a potential for false positives in our search for extraterrestrial life. Moreover, the vastness of space presents logistical and technological hurdles. How do we effectively scan billions of stars and their orbiting planets for signs of life? How do we interpret the data we gather from light years away? These are questions that continue to puzzle even the brightest minds in the field. Yet, despite these challenges, the future of biomarker research is promising. The potential breakthroughs are enormous. We're on the precipice of potentially detecting signs of life beyond our planet, an achievement that would fundamentally reshape our understanding of the universe and our place in it. In the coming years, we can expect to see even more advances in this field, driven by scientific curiosity and our ever-present desire to answer the age-old question, are we alone in the universe? In the quest for life beyond Earth, oxygen and ozone as biomarkers hold the key, so the next time you breathe, remember you're partaking in a cosmic mystery.